What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 2022 Chevy Equinox LT. So if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I made a first look video on the 2022 Equinox all the way back in February of 2020, and it was set to be released as a 2021 model year vehicle at the end of 2020, somewhere in the fall. But because of COVID, that got delayed and it got pushed to a 2022 model year. And what I'm referring to is the slight redesign. So we'll be taking a look at what is inside that slight redesign, what I think they hit on and did a good job with, and what I think they missed on the new Equinox. And also talking about some of the things that they got rid of, one of which is a pretty big deal in my opinion. Now, this model we're gonna be looking at here is an LT. We don't have a Premier or an RS yet. And the reason for that is this is called a CTP vehicle. If you're unfamiliar what that is, it's basically a rental car that we get a bunch of on the lot all at once, and we give them to customers when they're having service work done in our service department. So they're all basically the same. They're all black LT and have the same exact packages on them. So it's not going to be fully featured or anything like that, but it'll give us a good idea of what's been refreshed in this mid-cycle refresh that was originally planned for last year, 2021, but is now here on the 2022 model year. So then starting up front, you have these nice leading lines here on the hood. Underneath the hood, you have a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 170 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque that will provide 31 miles per gallon highway, 26 miles per gallon city. Now, originally when I made my video back in 2020, talking about the updated Equinox, there was going to be a new engine option for the RS trim, and that was a 2.0 liter turbocharged engine. They scrapped that. There is no longer a 2.0 liter turbocharged option at all, even on the RS. So the only option you're gonna get on any of these 2022 Equinoxes is that 1.5 liter turbo. So just keep that in mind. Now, as far as the headlight design goes, Chevy is doing this almost across the board now with these super aggressive low profile headlights and daytime running lights. My 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV has these same kind of looks. The Blazer has the same kind of look. The Camaro, the Corvette, all these different vehicles have this, but it's this really thin little daytime running light here, and then your high beams and your main headlights right here, which are LED across the board. Again, LED daytime running lights, LED headlights, and high beams. Your turn signal is actually down here in this little fog light area. This LT does not have fog lights, but you can get them on higher trim levels. Now, a huge part of this updated design language is this front fascia here. So again, you've got your low profile headlights, your low profile daytime running lights, then you have this huge chrome grille accent that splits the grille into two pieces. You have a little bit of a larger grille here and then a very low profile grille here to match up with those daytime running lights. Big old Chevy bow tie here. Now, if you get the RS, you will get a blacked out Chevy bow tie and blacked out front elements here on the grille, but it's a pretty simplified looking grille. Again, on higher trims, this will be a little more intricate, but since we're looking at the LT, that's just kind of what you get. Then you get a body colored splitter right here with the parking sensors around it, and then a little chrome accent right at the bottom that blends in with the little cooling area down at the bottom of the fascia. You also get a couple lines here to add a little bit of aggression to the front fascia, but that's the main thing that you notice when you see a 2022 here is just the redesigned front fascia. Also maybe the taillights, which we'll get to in just a sec. Now, the LT here sits on 17-inch aluminum wheels. You can get a few different wheel sizes here, 17, 18, 19-inch wheels, and you can get different looks on these wheels. I think there's 3 different wheels that you can get depending on what trim you have. Moving on back, you have body colored side mirrors with a little bit of black plastic down at the bottom. They are manual folding, but they are heated. They have blind spot monitoring, no camera system on this LT, but you actually can add it as an option on the LT. This one just doesn't have it. You can get that HD surround vision camera as low as an LT trim. It's definitely standard on the Premier, which is a nice touch. Moving on back, you have chrome trim that runs around the windows here. On the door panels, you do have the keyless access with the little chrome button that you can just push that to lock and unlock. Equinox word mark at the bottom looks exactly the same, no big changes there. No sunroof option up here on this LT, but up on the Premier, you would get a panoramic sunroof. Now, the rest of the tailgate does look a little bit different from 2021. You've got parking sensors around, you've got a rear vision camera. Again, if you have higher trim levels, that'll work with that surround vision system. Rear wiper, little jets up here, brake lights, a little bit of a spoiler, tinted rear glass. You also have tinted rear windows, which is a nice touch. And like I said earlier, we put the same packages on all of these CTP vehicles. This has the confidence and convenience package, which is about $1,800. And it's gonna give you a bunch of extra things. It gives you a couple more safety features, remote start, dual zone climate control, heated driver and passenger seats, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and then this power rear gate back here. You can open it in a couple ways. You can push the button up underneath, but you can also double tap on the key fob and it will open right up for you. And then you get access to the generous cargo space back here. Now this has about 30 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats up. If you fold those down, you'll get about 64 cubic feet of cargo space, which is great. Now you do have this flat floor here, but if you lift it up, one time you get a little bit of extra storage, and if you lift it up again, you actually get access to a compact spare tire up under there. And then if you do want to drop the second row seats, you've got little handles here. You can go ahead and pull those, and those seats will go ahead and fling themselves forward for you. And that is the exterior. Let's go ahead and hop inside the cabin. All right, so hopping inside this cabin, again, we are looking at an LT here, so there's not a ton to see, but there are a couple changes that I want to talk about and a couple places that I really wish they would have changed something and they didn't. So that first one actually is right in front of me here, and that is this steering wheel. This is not the most recent Chevy steering wheel that we've seen on almost all other new Chevy models. This is the old-fashioned steering wheel, but it has kind of the mushy buttons for your cruise control and for navigating your little color cluster right past the steering wheel here. And it just doesn't look as up to date. I mean, they delayed the release of this model a whole extra model year, and they didn't even bother to change the steering wheel. Now, I don't think they were ever going to. I don't even think in the renderings it was the updated steering wheel, but it just feels like they tried to update some things, but they left a couple things out. I'm sure in the next couple years when we get a full redesign, it'll have the most updated steering wheel. So that's just a little bit of a miss in my opinion, but it's not, again, the worst functioning or looking steering wheel. It's just not my favorite. It is leather wrapped here again with that confidence and convenience package that we added on there. You do have cruise control, like I mentioned. On higher trim levels, you'll get adaptive cruise control, which is a nice touch. You have your light and wiper controls right here. Past that, you have a little gauge cluster here. It actually has a little color display in the center there. You got your power window controls over here. Only your driver's side window is an automatic one-touch up and down window. You got your light controls down here on the left side. Push to start engine button right here. It's just your standard Chevy push to start button. Moving on over, you have your infotainment display here. Now this is Chevy's most recent MyLink infotainment system, and it is a 7-inch display here on the LT, but up on higher trim levels, you can get an 8-inch display. But you have some nice features in here. You know, you have your standard audio phone, Bluetooth, you have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, and like I said, on higher trims or optional on the LT, you can get that HD surround vision camera system, because right now we just have this standard relatively low res rear camera here. I can never tell if it's the camera that's low res on these lower trims or if it's the screen. Either way, it doesn't look great on this little 7-inch screen, but you know what? It works for what you need it for if you are driving this car as a rental while your car is getting repaired. So you know what? It works for what it is. Again, this is one of those places where they didn't really change anything noticeable from previous models, and I just think they could have done things a little bit differently. Maybe tried to make it fit in more with the rest of Chevy's lineup as far as this whole center console area goes. It's very traditional looking, a little bit bland and boring, but you know what? It's functional. So one big thing they added here for 2022, should have been 2021, is this button here to disable that auto start stop engine, which I know a ton of people love, including myself, because I do not like that auto start stop engine. I know why they do it, but I don't like it. Flashers are right here. You do have the dual zone climate control here. That is an option that we added on with that driver confidence and convenience package. And that allows you to set custom temperatures for either side of the cabin, and it will maintain that temperature for that side of the cabin. And you can also sync them if you want, which is nice. Again, heated driver and passenger seat, one USB-C port, one USB-A port, a 3.5mm jack, and a 12-volt outlet as well. You can disable your parking sensors right here. You've got a 6-speed automatic transmission right here. It has some nice accents. It's got the little Chevy bow tie up underneath this kind of leather piece. You've got your kind of manual mode buttons on the left side of it, and a little bit of that chrome accent with a little bit of a leather bit underneath that. You do have an electronic parking brake, which is a nice touch. 2 cup holders, little pocket here for storage. Up underneath this pretty large center console, you've got a little light so you can see what's in here. Little tray that you can move, not really anywhere else, just kind of fits right there. But you can take it out if you don't want it. Nice deep center pocket there. Up top, you just have a normal rear view mirror here, not auto dimming, but you can get one up on higher trims that also has the universal home light garage door controls on it if you want to. OnStar, LED dome lights looks like, and then a little sunglasses holder up here. Again, no sunroof here. You also just have a standard 6-speaker audio system. You can get a Bose premium audio system up on the higher trims. As far as other cabin design goes, it's very, very, very plain. And you know what? It's an LT. It's a reasonably priced, you know, compact SUV. This is probably what you'd expect in the segment, but it's essentially all black. The only real thing that even differentiates anything in the cabin is a little bit of chrome trim that runs around the vents, a little bit around the shift knob, a little bit around the cup holders, a little bit around the center console area, wrapped around some parts of the steering wheel and the push to start engine button. But other than that, it's just all this like plastic, basically, maybe kind of like a hard touch material up top, plastic down up underneath.
Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Camera or demarcation making?
It's a camera.
You don't work for the Q, do you?
Nope.
Because I like mystery and I'm going to mystify you.
I don't know what that was. And then these redesigned cloth seats, they have a new quilted texture to them, orange accent stitching. They're kind of a two-tone with this kind of gray blended material and then a darker black material all the way around. You have an 8-way power driver's seat, and then you have a 4-way manually adjustable passenger seat. Again, both of these are heated. No such option in the back seats, unfortunately, here on the LT. All right, so hopping into these rear seats here. Again, I have this driver's seat pretty far back and leaned pretty far back, just to give you guys a good representation of what's going on. I'm about 6'1", and I maybe have like almost 2 inches here of knee room. I can tuck my feet up underneath if I need a little bit of extra space. And again, that rear seat kind of arcs to give you a little bit of extra room. No mat pocket here on the back of the driver's seat, but there is one over on the passenger seat. 2 vents here as well, and then 2 USB-A ports for charging. Power windows, again, no heated option back here. But I have a little bit of headroom. It's not horrible. And then I've got, again, a little bit of legroom. If the driver's seat was moved up a tiny bit, I think I'd have plenty back here. And then you have decent shoulder room. I think with 3 passengers back here, you'd be really pushing it. But I think with 2 adults back here, you can fit them comfortably. Again, having this nice armrest here with cup holders to kind of give you all some separation there. Again, the same quilted material on the backs of these seats. It's honestly not that bad. I'm surprised by the decent amount of room I have. All right, guys, we're gonna take the Equinox here for a little bit of a spin. So push to start here. And in these little test drive portions, I'll talk about the ride quality, I'll talk about the acceleration, the braking, the ease of use of the infotainment system. Do keep in mind we are on the LT here with the 17-inch wheels, so you may have a little bit of better ride quality with the 18 or 19-inch wheels versus these little 17-inch wheels. But you don't have any kind of sport mode or anything like this, so pretty much this acceleration in this 1.5-liter turbo is what you're gonna get. Again, 170 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque. Definitely feels like the RPMs are higher than what is actually being connected to the wheels, if that makes any sense. So it feels like it's revving a lot, but it doesn't feel like it's spinning a lot, which I'm sure there's a more technical car term for that I'm just unfamiliar with. So if you guys know what that is called, leave it down in the comments below. But it just, there's like a disconnection between the sound of the acceleration and the actual go of the vehicle. As far as ease of use of the infotainment center, it's top tier because it's so far away from the steering wheel that you don't have any of that awkward bumping of the steering wheel when you're trying to reach for some of the different buttons like you have on some other vehicles. Again, we'll do a brake test here. Yeah, the brakes are pretty good, pretty sticky. Yeah, not bad at all. I don't think the acceleration's like slow to the point where you won't be able to like successfully pass or anything on the highway. It's just not like I said, an exhilarating ride necessarily, which it doesn't need to be on a car like this. This is a family car, or you know, like first car for a kid or something like that, so it's okay. Now, I mentioned earlier that maybe the ride quality would be lessened because of the small wheels, but I don't really feel that. Now, again, I'm not comparing them one-to-one, but the ride quality seems fine. That's one of the best parts, I think, so far. And then safety systems. Again, this has quite a few, and I'm just not really feeling them kick in, and I don't know why. Like my 2022 Bolt EUV does a way better job, like trying to keep me in the lanes and has a little bit of that pull to it. I haven't felt any of that so far. So I'm not sure if it's just, looks like everything's turned on. I don't know why it's not doing it. Now this one's stickers for about 26, 27-ish, but with that added package, which is about $1,800, is gonna push you right up to about $29,800. So basically $30,000 for all of this. One thing I forgot to mention when filming this video are the new exterior colors. So I'll put these on screen for you so you guys can see. We have blue glow metallic, sea glass blue metallic, which is beautiful, iron gray metallic, and the cherry red tint coat. So all of those 4 colors are new for the 2022 model year. Also, there are a few additional things on the Premier model that are new for 2022, but once we get one of those in stock, we'll be taking a look at that. The Equinox is fine for what it is. I just think at this price point, you're starting to really butt up against some serious competition, and you really got to make yourself stand out. And I'm not sure there's enough in this LT cabin that makes it stand out. I'm going to withhold a final judgment until I get to see the RS and the Premier. But just with this LT that we're looking at so far, I think they could have done more with this interior. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Drop a like in the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think about the 2022 Equinox redesign? Let's have a conversation down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be on the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.